What'd you see? Sure. Sipadan is an oceanic island off the coast of Malaysian Borneo, and it has some amazing diving.
It's hard to come here. You have to plan ahead. It's very limited, the number of divers that are allowed to come. The national government military runs the island, and they only give out 120 permits to divers a day. So you can't just sort of show up and hope for the best. You really have to come with a reputable dive operator. Seaventures is one of the best because they get a lot of permits.
Yep.
And even still, you're only guaranteed a certain amount of Sipadan dives during your stay at Seaventures, and it's not every day. But it's so worth it. It's really, really nice diving. Pretty significant currents,
yeah,
and some pretty challenging conditions some of the days we've been here, but totally worth it for what we've been able to see.
The reefs are huge, the walls have amazing wildlife on them, and almost every time we go diving here, we see something incredible. There are 5 main things to check out when you're doing diving here in Sipadan, and here we go, we're gonna lay them out for you. First one is schooling jackfish.
What's a symbol for jackfish?
The jackfish are kind of your standard fish, but there's a ton of them. They stay relatively shallow, and we've seen them several times. They just love to swim around in their large school all over the place, and you can generally get pretty close to them, which is pretty cool when you're underwater. Makes for some interesting selfies.
Number 2, bumpheads. They have big teeth, they're really ugly, they're the biggest parrotfish, and they're pretty hard to see, but we've seen them a couple times in big schools.
Yep.
And yeah, you can just swim up to them, and they look pretty intimidating, and they're quite big, maybe 3-4 feet long.
Yeah.
But they're pretty harmless, and you can kind of just hang out with them. Yeah, they look weird.
They look crazy.
They're so ugly, they're cute.
Number 3, schooling barracuda. Now, I know sometimes you've seen 1 or 2 barracuda by themselves. Here, they get big schools that just start swirling in these large vortexes. It's pretty incredible to check them out, and they move pretty quick. There is a ton of them though, so when you do get to see them, it's just this giant swarm of swimming barracuda just traveling all over the bottom of the ocean. We've seen them a few times. They're fairly hard to find, but when you do, it's pretty neat to check out. Oh yeah, barracuda sign is great barracuda.
Number 2, sea turtles. turtles. Easier to see at low tide, but we've seen them on most of our dives. They go up, they breathe the air, they come down, they swim around. Very lazy, sleep a lot. Favorite animal.
We've seen more turtles sleeping here than we've ever seen. They just hang out right next door to this island.
The turtle hit you!
Yeah.
He actually ran into you!
I moved out of his way.
He actually came right up and just sideswiped you.
And finally, number 1, sharks. Two main types of sharks here. There's the gray reef shark and there's the white tip shark. The white tip shark loves to hang out on the bottom and take naps and let us get very close to it. They're fairly friendly and they love to come check you out, kind of eyeball you whenever you're down there, and you can get fairly close to them, which has been pretty neat. We've seen, I don't even know how many, like a countless number of white tip sharks underwater. The second group of sharks is called the gray reef sharks. These are your classic, never stop swimming, big T sharks. And twice while we've been here, we've had these incredible sightings where you get to see these baby school of gray reef sharks, and there's a ton of them. I think it's one of the coolest things we've seen so far. We actually just finished a dive here where we saw a bunch of them. It was really cool. Michelle got very close.
Shark.
Hey, hey, hey!
What up? We're here at Sipadan, coming to you live from high tide. Diver safety, number 1. Speaking Chinese.
Sipadan. There's really nice diving here. It's nice.